Hi everyone, it's John at Cordon Real Estate. It's the first week in November 2023, and I'm often asked about this time of year. Is it too late to sell a home, sell a small parcel of land before the end of the year? And today I'm going to answer that question, and I'm going to share with you 5 strategies and tips that we recommend for many sellers who are thinking about putting a property on the market in November or December. First thing to know is that, yes, there is a dip in market activity during the November-December period. However, that can also be used as a advantage if you have the right strategies. So let's go ahead and get into them. First thing I recommend to anyone considering selling during the last couple months of the year is don't wait, act today. Now, there are a couple advantages to selling during the holidays. One, if you have a property that needs any work to be done on it, if it needs inspections, as most properties do before they go on the market. Since market activity is down, the inspectors, people who do home inspections, and repair people are often not as busy, so you can get them to your property faster. The other thing a lot of people don't realize is during the holidays, a lot of people go home, especially pre-retirees who are going back to their hometown to visit family, spend the holidays. And if they're going to retire in the near future, many of them are thinking about retiring back to where they grew up, back home. And so they are actually, while they're visiting home, they're looking at property. So it's a good time to showcase your home for sale. So strategy number 1 is don't wait, act today. And you could potentially, depending upon your specific situation, have your property on the market within a week as holiday lookers start looking around for homes. Second recommendation that I make to people who are thinking about selling late in the year is to sell on the open market. Now, a lot of sellers say, well, I don't want to put a sign up in the yard. I don't want my neighbors knowing that I'm selling my home. I want to do it kind of quietly. No sign in the yard. They don't want their home listed on the MLS, but they do hire an agent to represent them, and that agent might circulate the listing or the opportunity to buy the property among other brokers or buyers that they know. However, that reaches a limited market. We recommend that if you want to get a quick sale for the best profit price and terms, that you put it on the public market and advertise as widely as you can. So tip number 2 is don't sell on a closed market or off market. Sell on the open market and advertise widely. Third tip is if you're wanting to sell, not just get into escrow, but close quickly, you're going to find that a lot of what we call fast cash buyers are going to be interested in your property. They're going to come in and make offers, and they're going to offer a very tempting fast cash deal that closes escrow perhaps within even a week. Now, these fast cash buyers, you hear them on the radio all the time. We buy any house, any condition, anywhere. And the reason that they do that or can do that is because they pay rock bottom price. And most of them are investors, which means they want to buy your house below market value, and that is part of their profit margin. Most of them are not going to hold on to it. They're going to either immediately resell it or they're going to fix it up and resell it. Either way, the profit that they make on that deal starts with offering you a price that is below market value on your property. And so you don't really want to get stuck dealing with those guys because you know you're not going to get the best price available. A few things we should mention that are risks always present when dealing with investors is that they have strategies and tactics, just like we do as sellers, to buy at the lowest possible price they can. And so they will often do one of 3 things. The first thing is mid-contract price adjustments. And what these are is simply some investors will get into escrow with you. You think you've got a solid price, you have a contract, you're moving on, towards that escrow closing date. But then the buyer says, well, wait a minute, I found out things through my inspections that I didn't know about before. They're going to cost me extra money to fix. Therefore, either you take another X number of dollars off the purchase price, or I'm going to fall out. And boom, not only have you lost a deal, but you've lost time. And since we're dealing in a very compressed schedule, maybe if we're trying to close escrow by the end of the year, we may be forced to take that price reduction or lose the deal when a buyer employs that tactic. Now, they don't all do this, but it's a strategy that investment buyers use that we should be aware of. Another thing we should be aware of is the possibility of delays, especially with investors that are under contract with you and they are doing their inspection, and they may, through no fault of their own, find that they're having trouble with processing perhaps a financing for the property, or maybe they are not able to get their inspectors in on time. Especially when dealing with investors, we need to be very careful about potential delays, because as I mentioned with mid-contract adjustments, sometimes delays are used in order to get you or pressure a seller to make a price reduction while you're already in escrow. And the last risk I'll mention today regarding working with investors is the deal simply falling out. And a lot of you have asked me before about what a wholesaler is. A wholesaler is a real estate investor who actually gets under contract with you. And then once you are in contract, they have no intention of actually going through with escrow unless they find another buyer during the escrow period to buy that property from them and close escrow on the same day at a price that is above what they are paying you, the original seller. I'm going to leave a link below on an article that I've previously written that explains this in more detail. But when you're dealing with a wholesaler, if they can't find another investor, their contract will typically allow them to drop out at any time, all the way up until the escrow closing date. So fallout is a real problem that we might have to deal with if we're selling to an investor, especially a wholesaler. And tip number 4 for selling late in the year is do not put your property on the market if you're going to be traveling and unavailable. This comes up quite a bit, even not during the holiday period, but especially during the holiday period. Lots of people are away, they're traveling, maybe not available by email, by phone. They can't get to a notary public if they have to sign a document that has to be notarized. It can cause delays. So if you are serious about wanting to get under contract and close before the end of the year, you need to be available. So if you are going to be traveling a lot and unavailable, we usually recommend that you wait until you return and then put a property on the market, even if it means you have to go into next year. So tip or strategy number 5, which really does apply year-round, is to have some wiggle room in your price and terms. This is especially important during the holidays when you may not be getting as many offers above your asking price. They might be a little bit lower. People are looking for deals. They're spending money on the holidays and are going to look to save money wherever they can. So they're in that mood. So you want to be able to have some wiggle room. And one of the strategies that we recommend right now in November 2023, since interest rates are high, is that instead of lowering the price necessarily, a strategy might be to say, well, I will donate a certain amount of the closing money at closing towards buying down your interest rate on the buyer's mortgage. And the way that works, if you're not familiar with it, is simply the mortgage company may offer the buyer, well, okay, we're going to do a fixed rate loan for you over 30 years at X%. However, if you give us a few dollars that they specify, we will lower that interest rate a little bit. You can buy it down a little bit by paying a chunk of interest up front. Well, as a seller, we can make that into a tactic if it works for our particular situation. and help that buyer not only get the house at the price that they want, but also save money in the long run with a lower rate fixed mortgage. Again, this may not work in all situations, but it is an example of a tactic that we might recommend to sellers. So those are our 5 tips and strategies for marketing a home or small piece of land at the end of the year. And we hope if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you have a more personal request or information, go ahead to cordonrealestate.com. Use our contact us form, and there is also a phone number if you want to call me directly. Cordon Real Estate is located in the San Francisco Bay Area's North Bay wine country area, and if you have questions about market conditions here, please let me know. I'll be glad to talk to you about what's going on currently in our area. I hope you do have a good holiday season. We will be back each week through November and December with more tips, and I hope you will like and subscribe and join us again. Again, this is John at Cordon Real Estate. Take care.